Welcome to selfdiscoveryradio.com, where the orchard of wisdom is just ready for picking. We celebrate your why, the journey that you've taken that inspires someone else. We support your services, we support your story. Come and be our guest, become a host, be an author with us. Come and see what we've got. Our next show is...
The Wellness Journey inspires, enlightens, and informs women over 40 and all the people who love them. It is a journey that we will take with tips from authors, doctors, and practitioners of holistic living. During this show, experts in the field will provide tips, tools, and techniques that are fun and simple for all to try. Come join me on this journey. Get inspired, get informed, and get well. Welcome to another fantastic edition of the Wellness Journey podcast series. And as you know, we're focusing on living your life like it's golden. And as I've said many times in this podcast series, the reason why I really wanted to focus on the idea of living your life like it's golden is the idea of living a life that is full and vibrant and of value, knowing your value, embracing your awesomeness, and knowing that no matter what your age is, but in particular, as you age after 40, 50, and 60, that you still have that vibrancy and that ability to thrive, not just survive, but thrive in life. Today we have a treat, and I think it's a treat because I love her topic and I love the things that she does to help people using a modality that we see every single day. Today I have with us Priscilla Elliott, all the way from the United Kingdom. And let me run this disclaimer. We are recording live with internet, so hopefully you won't have any strange little delays or buffers, but if we do, it's internet, so what can I say? But thank goodness for the internet and for technology and my ability to be able to have the wonderful Priscilla Elliott from the United Kingdom, who is a holistic trainer and practitioner. She focuses on 3 different areas of the energy body. Color, she works with chakras, also EFT, and we'll talk a little bit about what that is, and energy fields as a Reiki master. So she really is an expert when it comes to energy and how it impacts us. And I am so happy to welcome you to the Wellness Journey podcast series, Priscilla. It's wonderful to have you.
Linus, thank you very much indeed. What a wonderful introduction. I just hope I live up to that.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I think what you're doing is bringing so much positive light into the world. Tell us a little bit about you and how color has changed, working with color has changed your life or enhanced your life.
Right, wonderful, thank you. Well, I first of all want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. It's great to have been asked to appear on your show, and real privilege for me, real honour. So thank you for that, first of all. Yeah, colour, amazing, very, very quick. It goes right to the issue from a practitioner point of view. Colour is around us everywhere, and we respond to colours subconsciously without actually even realising. You know, if you go out and buy, I don't know, this amazing pink top, and a couple of weeks later you can't bear it, but you really, really wanted to have this pink top at the time, that's literally just your body responding to colour. And your body needed that pink frequency at the time that you bought it, when you were attracted to it. And a couple of weeks later, your body needs a different colour. Something different. So colour's really all about feeling. So my work, the work that I do, is about feeling. It's about vibration. And ultimately what I want to do is help people to raise their vibration. Do you know what I mean by vibration?
I was going to ask you, I know a little bit, but what do you mean by vibration? And I also know you use the word sometimes frequency. What does that mean?
Yes, yeah. Vibration and frequency are interchangeable. So sometimes you'll hear me call it vibration and sometimes frequency. It's basically the same thing. If you can imagine that every single emotion is a particular frequency, yeah, and every single colour is also a particular frequency. So when we respond to a colour, when we connect with a colour, it's evoking an emotion within us.
Okay.
And there are certain emotions that sit in different colours. So, for example, fear sits in yellow, and so does confusion, but also so does joy, so does laughter.
Okay.
So we might respond in a negative way to a colour or a positive way to a colour. So every colour carries a negative and a positive response. The great news is, though, if you are triggered in a negative way, it means that that negative emotion has come up for you to see. And when you can see it, when you can feel it, you have the power to let it go. So how cool is that?
Oh, wow. You know, it's interesting. It reminds me, my grandmother used to tell me that lavender used to make her feel sick. She liked the color, but she just couldn't stand lavender. Why do you think that might have been?
Yeah, well, that was obviously provoking a negative emotion, feeling sick. She was connecting with a memory that contained that frequency. And so whenever she responded to that colour, it just brought it up. And it does it every time. It's going to do it every time until she noticed. So ideally, for example, if she'd come to see me, I would have said to her, okay, well, you know, how does that make you feel? You feel sick, yeah, and let's kind of go back and let's see what that's bringing up for you. What does lavender mean to you initially? And we'd backtrack, find the memory, and she would find that within that memory she was feeling sick, and it may well be that her mum was wearing a lavender coloured dress, or you know, or maybe there was a smell of lavender in the garden and she was in the garden at the time, and that type of thing, you know. So there's an association between the colour frequency she was picking up on in that memory and the memory and what that memory evokes with that colour. So yeah.
So many times, then it sounds like then many times that color can carry with it certain frequencies to us personally based upon our experiences with what was going on at the time in color.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We were talking about, right before we came on the air, about black. And I asked you, you know, do you ever wear black or not? Because I used to love black all the time. And then as I became more aware of the importance of color, I slowly began to transition. But what is the difference? What is it about black? And why do they use it for mourning? And what kinds of energies are associated with black? And why should we wear more color? Yes.
Yes. Absolutely, great question. So black, I used to wear a lot of black as well before I started working with colour, and I very rarely wear it now. And it's really what you say, it's about being more self-aware. So if you're more aware with yourself and of yourself, then you're basically more aware of all of the colours of yourself, effectively, you know, all of the emotions of yourself. If you're more aware, then you will see things from a different perspective. Your vibration is going to be higher. Your level of consciousness is going to be higher. And so things are not going to phase you as much as they did before. Black is usually associated with hiding. That's one of the things. That's one of many things that black represents. But sometimes when we hide our light, or when we just want to keep small for one reason or another, we wear black. It kind of makes us a bit invisible. We can blend in with the crowd, kind of thing. Because when you're wearing a colour, especially when you're wearing a bright colour, you're noticed, aren't you?
Yes.
And so black is normally associated with hiding. That's one of the things anyway.
Wow.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it does. That's interesting. You know, and I have had you know, color therapist on my show before, and but your the way you work with color is really interesting and very different. Explain to us about the jars and the bottles, or I'm sorry, the bottles and how they work. Because I know you have color mirror essence bottles, and then you have other kinds of bottles that you work with. I think they're called, I'm looking at the screen right now, color mirror oil bottles, and then you have color essence bottles. What are the difference, and how do you work with that? And also, how did you come to create this? Because it's really amazing.
Okay, well, I can't take credit for the colour mirror system because I didn't create that as such.
Okay.
There's a wonderful, wonderful lady called Melissa Jolly who lives in South Africa, and she is the one who's responsible for the colour mirror system, and it's an absolute honour to work with this system. It really, really is. She is an incredible lady, created this system. There are over 100 colour bottles, and she basically just gives the system to us as teachers or practitioners to go and play with. And we play. We play, we have fun, we help people to get back to their true selves and who they truly are. So yes, you're absolutely right. It's Colour Mirror's system. It's her system, and it comprises of 2 types of bottles. So you've got the essence bottles. So I'm just going to hold up an essence bottle. I hope you can see it.
Yes.
It's a tall bottle here, beautiful single colour frequency bottle. And with these essence bottles, what you do is you spray onto your hands, breathe it in, wave it around your field, and you feel this immediate sense of relief because your body is connecting with that particular colour. So that's essentially how the essence bottles are used. They could be sprayed at any time. You can meditate on the colour. They're just amazing. And then there are the oil bottles. So these are the oil bottles with avocado oil on the top, purified water at the bottom. The colours come from vegetables. And again, your body's responding to the colour. So great for meditation. You can sit with the bottles on you or lay down with the bottles on you, feel the energy of the colour of that vibration. And amazing in colour readings. I do colour readings and help people in colour sessions as well. So I do life coaching sessions, and I use the colour bottles in life coaching, which is very, very effective, especially when somebody wants to reach a goal.
Right, right, and or trying to make a decision of some kind. Now, do the oil bottles and the essence bottles, do they have a scent?
They do, yes, they do. So it's a kind of an essential oil.
Okay.
It's, yes, so every single colour carries the same scent. So it works on your olfactory system as well. But it is predominantly the colour, because the minute the colour connects with your body and your body connects with the colour, you feel it. You know, you really feel it. And it's amazing. Yeah.
Right before we came on, we talked about my colors, and I chose 3 colors, and I know one of them was Blue Angel, which was an essence bottle, and we'll talk about that in a minute, what you told me about that, but I could immediately feel something different. As you mentioned, I think the word you used was a lifting that I could feel, and that's amazing how color can impact you. What other kinds of things have you helped people with when it comes to using this system of color?
Well, absolutely anything. So people could come to me for, you know, they might feel a little bit depressed, low, relationship issues, money issues, really any problems that they have in their life. Stress, there's a lot of stress in the workplace these days, etc. Stress with families or personal. And the colour, literally, as soon as they connect with the colour, they just feel this instant sense of relief. You know, it's almost as though their body's got the message. And even if they don't know what the message is, or even if they don't know what the meaning is, they certainly do at some level. You know, we're talking kind of soul level here. Colour is the language of the soul. The colours connecting with the chakra system. So we've all got these chakras. Are you aware of the chakras, Lynette?
I am, but for those that might be new that's listening, tell us a little bit about chakras and how that works with energy and all of that, how it's relevant.
So we've all got 7 main energy centers within our bodies. Each of them is a different color of the rainbow, if you like. So, and each of these energy centers is responsible for sending energy to certain parts of the body. And as I mentioned before, every color carries particular emotions in that color. And so when you connect with the color, your body just gets the message that, oh, wow, I'm communicating, you know, I'm getting this message. Now, the idea of working with the chakras is to kind of clear out the negatives and accentuate the positives. Because if you can imagine that we are a powerful soul in a body having a human experience, as opposed to humans being spiritual sometimes, if you are able to see it that way, if you're able to at least be open to that concept, then you get an inkling as to what this is all about and vibration is all about. So when I was referring to vibration earlier, an example of a high vibrational day is you get up in the morning, you feel amazing, everything goes like clockwork, you feel great, you're driving to work, the road's clear, you get all the green traffic lights, you get the car parking space, you have an amazing day, everybody wants to know you, you get a smile from a stranger, and you have an absolutely brilliant day. That's an example of a high vibrational day. So just imagine how it would feel to be like that all the time, you know,
wow.
to live in that space all the time, because the only thing that takes us out of that space are our low vibrations, are the patterning that comes up in our body. And so, for example, in an example of a low vibrational day, everything goes wrong, you know, we're late for work, we're in the traffic, somebody cuts us up, and so on and so forth. Now, if that happens, if you're feeling that things are not going right, the question to ask yourself is, I wonder why I attracted that. And you might kind of not see that you attracted that because the law of attraction kicks in here. But what's happening is your body's holding these low frequencies and sending up to the universe. And the universe is giving you a reflection to show you what's going on inside. You might then say, how many other times have I been cut up in the traffic? Or, okay, that makes me feel angry. So what am I actually feeling angry about in my life right now? Because that's the frequency that you're resonating with. So when you connect with colour, there's a great, one of the essences, it's fantastic, it's an olive essence, helps to release unexpressed anger. So it may well be that you think of a situation and you can't express that anger. You know, it's safe and it's actually healthy to express the anger, to let it out, to express yourself. And so the colour olive, for example, would be really, really good for you to help you to express that feeling safely. Now, when you've released that low vibration, your vibration jumps up. And then you're in a high vibrational state again. And it happens.
That's interesting. I'm wondering too, because like, for instance, I'll give you an example in my life personally. We're recording this in August. In July, it was a fabulous month for my company. Not quite sure why, except for I hired a money coach and we started doing tapping and all of that, you know, and I know you know about tapping, EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. And it's just amazing how things just started dropping out of the sky. Then fast forward to August, totally different kind of situation. And I haven't been tapping as much because I've been busy. As you know, we lost our dog. It's been last week or whatever. But I've been thinking, okay, what's different? What's going on? And how can I change the frequency? Because because I know it's a law of attraction thing, but I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to change the frequency? So if I had that issue, someone like you can help me figure it out, and then you would help me get the colors that I need to kind of change that energy. Is that how it works?
That's exactly how it works. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
But actually, I'm not really helping you to choose the color because that's something you do.
Right. Well, let's talk about that because before we started recording, you asked me to do a color, and interestingly enough, the colors that I selected, because we're going to do a live reading, were very close to the colors that I actually have on. Did you notice that? Because that color, this color, that, you know, interestingly enough, and as I'm talking to you, that limeish color that's right behind you, that beautiful flower, I keep looking at that. I keep being drawn to that too. So that probably would have been the fourth color that I would have chosen if I had 4 choices instead of 3. But it's just amazing. And then I also noticed as we were talking, I said, wait a minute, those colors are in my background also.
Yeah, you're surrounded by them.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess we'll find out, you know, what that all means. But it's amazing how subconsciously we already have the tools available to us intuitively to have this resonate. It's all about familiarizing ourselves and raising our awareness that's out here. And that's what this show is all about, is basically just raising the awareness so that individuals who are listening can say, you know what? I think I need to check Priscilla out and find out more about this because I could use that service. So let's show it. Let's show them what it's all about. I know I chose 3 colors, so please share with them the colors that I chose. And for all of you who are listening on iHeartRadio or iTunes or Google Play, that's great. You can listen to it, and then you need to go ahead and go back to my the site Self-Discovery channel and take a look at this whole viewing, because you've got to see this in person. Because it's so much better when you can see the color. So let's go ahead and do this live color reading. I'm so excited because I want them to see the colors that I chose. And interesting, as I said before, the colors that I chose happen to be the same colors that I'm either wearing or in the background. You know, it's amazing how all that works. And I guess I generally or genuinely are, today anyway, attracted to those colors. Yeah. But it looks like I like them all the time, because that's
yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's first of all talk about the colours that you're wearing, because if you're talking about connecting with the same kind of colours, your body knew that you needed those frequencies, and that's why you're wearing those coloured clothes. And in the same way that when you looked at all the bottles together, again, your body knew that you needed those frequencies. So
okay, great.
It's great. So the first one that you picked was Blue Angel, which is a little bottle that I showed you before, the Essence bottle. And Blue Angel is really all about communication and safety within that communication, being received. Now, you are a fantastic communicator. You communicate in your work all the time. You share your stories. You have guests on your show, etc. And so great in that context. But what it's showing you, that in terms of your life and what's going on at the moment personally, is that you have a need to communicate. And it's important for you to speak your truth with whatever's going on in your life right now. So that's kind of the message that's kind of come through with that Blue Angel. It's about protection. It's about protection in terms of your communication. In other words, that it's safe for you to just say exactly how you feel. Heartfelt communication, really, which is more of a turquoise thing than a blue thing, but that's really the message.
Okay.
As far as that's concerned. So does that resonate with you so far?
Yeah, it does. As I had said before, because we did this one bottle we did right before, that I need to have a conversation with my stepbrother, not a negative conversation or anything, but just something I've been kind of hesitating to do, because I am not a person that likes to ask for assistance of any kind. And I need his help on a project, and I said, oh, he might probably be too busy, I don't want to bother him, blah, 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 blah. And then right before the show, I said, you know what? He would have a fit if he knew that I did not let him know I needed some assistance with something. So I went ahead and I sent him a text message, and I said, I need to talk to you when you get off of work. And I went, I send it, and then afterwards immediately I was like, oh my God, if it's okay. But now I know it's okay. Now I know it's okay.
Of course it is. Absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah. So there you've got the first part of the message. Now, I didn't know that before you, when you pick the colours, I didn't know that background. So I'm literally just going off the colour frequencies that your body's chosen or tuned into right now. The other thing to mention about colours, and when you connect with these colours, with these bottles, is that the colours don't define you as a person. They're literally just showing where your frequency is right now. Okay. Because on a day-to-day basis, our frequency or vibration, as I mentioned before, it's the same thing. It changes throughout the day, but our overall vibration is ultimately getting higher and higher and higher as we release the lower vibrations from our body, as we become more self-aware, as we tune into the law of attraction and all of these wonderful things around us. Your vibration gets higher kind of on an overall basis, if you see what I mean. But on a day-to-day basis, our vibration does sort of move around according to how we're feeling. It's all about the feeling. Yeah, all about the feeling. And the other thing to mention about vibrations, whilst we're on the subject, just before we go into the rest of the colours, is that some people might think emotions and mamby-pamby things, that I don't think that's really the case these days so much. A lot more people are aware of how they're feeling. And they want to get to this better feeling place on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. So a lot more people are aware of emotions these days, because of course the word emotion comes from energy and motion, emotion. So we're much more self-aware and much more aware of emotions, but they're very powerful frequencies in the body, and if held in the body can play havoc with us, if we hold emotions in, if we don't express ourselves. So it's really, really important to get in touch with how we're feeling. And if we get in touch with how we're feeling, we have the power to let it go. We haven't got the power to let go of something that we're not in touch with. And so the emotion stays in and festers and so on and so on.
That's a very good point. And I've mentioned this many times before. My audience knows that I used to suffer from an anxiety disorder. And And one of the things that I learned as I went through this process of learning how to deal with the disorder, because I still have it, but I just know how to manage it. Yeah. And one of the things was to go ahead and lean into that emotion instead of trying to push it down so you don't want to feel it. You know, so, okay, I'm not going to feel it, I'm not going to feel it. But instead it's like, okay, I'm feeling anxious right now. I'm feeling anxious. That's how I'm feeling. And the more I say, this is how I'm feeling right now, this is how I'm feeling you know, and I'm breathing through it. And after a while, because of some of the other things that I've done to deal with that too, it goes away. But the first step is to recognize it and to admit that I'm feeling that way. And for years and years and years, I would not recognize it as such. I was too busy trying not to feel it, which would make it worse. It would make it worse.
Yes, it's going to. Absolutely.
But I learned over the years that it was important to acknowledge it. Yeah, that's right.
Very much so, very much so. And I love the way that you just described that, Linus, because you were sort of saying, I'm feeling it now. I'm leaning into the feeling, and I'm really getting in touch with feeling, and I'm acknowledging it, because that's really the first part of EFT, emotional freedom technique, that we were talking about earlier. So it's acknowledging the emotion. And when you're tapping for your visitors who don't know what EFT is about, I'm just tapping on the side of my hand here. So even if you just do it very simply, tap on the side of your hand and say, I feel crap. You know,
exactly. It's so funny. It's so funny that you mentioned that, Priscilla, because the first time I had a session with her and we did the script, it was just all this, I'm feeling this way. I'm like, oh, I know I feel like that. Why am I tapping about that? You know, and then of course, you know, you talk about how you're proclaiming how you're going to be feeling, or how what you're going to be doing. But initially, the first 4 minutes were all this stuff, and I was like, oh my God. But the interesting thing was, within a day, this whole thing just opened up in terms of money. Yeah, it's I don't understand exactly how it works. I know you do and she does. All I can say is that it works.
And it's amazing, yeah. So I'm just tapping on the side of my hand and lovely, you're doing it too, great. And if any of your listeners are listening in, just tap on the side of the hand, just outside the little finger. Run your fingers from the opposite hand down the little finger, the outside, and just tap there. Just tune into an emotion, whatever the emotion is, and acknowledge that emotion. So if you wake up in the morning and you really feel crap, just say, I feel crap, and you know what, that's okay. It's all right for me to feel that, because I'm acknowledging it, and by acknowledging it, I'm owning it, and if I own it, I've got the power to let it go. Yes. So even something as simple as that, just on the side of the hand, if I was doing a full EFT round, I'd actually be tapping on these points on my head, my inner eyebrow, on the temple, underneath the eye, underneath the nose, underneath the lips. I'd be tapping on my collarbone point, and then I'd be tapping back on.
Do you ever do this one too?
Yes, I do the, don't do that one in traffic.
Yeah, please put your hands back on the car. I guess if you're listening, you probably can't see it. But for those of you, yes, if you're unsafe and you need both your hands, do not do that.
Exactly. And if you're out in public, well, you know, if you want to do it, great. People will look at you, great. I did this actually when I was on a train. I was I was in Italy, and I don't speak Italian. And I was aware that the train had stopped, and I was on my way to the airport. And I became aware that, oh my goodness, you know, I'm going to miss my flight. And I automatically started tapping, and I do that automatically whenever I feel that my frequency drops. Very rare these days that happens, but when I do feel it, I do. This is an auto response for me.
So that's wonderful. So you have the tools, or you know the tools, and here's another tool with the color therapy and the tapping and using the bottles to have more control over your frequency. I always say that, you know, it's a combination of things that we need to address the needs of the mind, body, and spirit. And some things will resonate with you and some things won't, but guaranteed there is something out there that is very natural and that will resonate with you. And when you hear it and see it, you'll be like, yes, that's what I need. Yeah, my main goal is that, you know, hopefully people won't have to drop pharmaceuticals, or maybe as many pharmaceuticals, and God forbid they don't have to have surgeries and get limbs cut off and things like that, because they're doing things to nurture their bodies from a positive way, you know, not just nutritionally and fitness, but also spiritually. It's a whole continuum that keeps
very
us
much so.
keeps us together, keeps us in our healthy bubble.
Absolutely, absolutely, and feeling better all the time, because ultimately that's where we all want to get to, isn't it? We want to get to that place of feeling amazing every day and having a magical day and attracting amazing things through the law of attraction. We want to be there. We want to be living that. And it's only these frequencies, these old frequencies that we've had for a long, long time, that have got stuck in our bodies, that we haven't even realized. And we end up working, sort of living our lives in a program, practically, automatically, responding to the outside world and outside events and outside people, etc. It all appears to be that way. But when you realize the program that you're in, the emotion that you're in, the negative belief or the limiting belief that you're holding in your system, then you can do something about letting that go and having the tools to be able to do it. And I'm absolutely, privileged and honored to be able to help people. And I love being of service to people. Anybody who comes my way and who's drawn to work with me is a real pleasure. It's always a real pleasure, and loving the transformation that they go through. I love witnessing that and being with them on that part of the journey. So I might have somebody coming to me, and it might just be the one session that they need. That's all they need, and off they go. That's all they needed. And then I might have other clients who come to me with an issue to begin with, and then the issue clears, and then they end up more on a personal development route, and they end up saying, okay, well, now that bit's fixed, what else can I fix? And that part of my life now needs fixing, sorting. I need to raise my vibration in those areas of my life. And so we'll work on that basis as well. So they come and see me on a weekly basis, or every 2 weeks, or once a month, for their own personal or business development. Because when you're clearing the low vibrations, it makes a tremendous difference on a day-to-day basis in terms of how you're feeling. Of course it does. What you said earlier,
Yeah, that's fabulous. I love that idea. In fact, while you were talking, I was thinking about, we kind of like live in the Matrix. Have you ever seen that movie, The Matrix?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what it's like. And we can easily be programmed into thinking things are one way, when reality, for us personally and how we encode our life experience, it could be totally different. We don't have to be impacted by the Matrix, because I think the main message with the Matrix was that people were seeing things as they weren't, not as they really were. Yeah. And the goal was, for the resistance, was to get people to see what was really going on. Of course, now what was really going on was ugly. I probably would have chosen the Matrix, but the whole idea that there's a lot of beauty going on in our lives that we're missing, because we're living in the Matrix, which in my opinion has a tendency to focus more on the negative. If we can move outside of that, life really is still beautiful. It's just all in how you encode it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely spot on. It's all a matter of perception. So our perception of reality is created through our belief system. So if we believe something like, I can't do this, then your world is going to reflect, I can't do this. So if you release any negative beliefs and negative emotions, then the world that you see and your perception of your reality is going to be very different from if you are actually feeling these low vibrations, or you have this negative belief in your system. So your belief system creates your version of reality, which is why we're all seeing things from a different perspective.
Right.
So we could still, so you could have 50 people in a room, and they're watching one event. They're not all going to respond in the same way to that one event. They're going to be seeing it from a different perspective, and their perspective comes from their belief system and what they hold to be true in the belief.
That's such a great definition. That's very, very clear. And I also think, and I'm hoping it's bringing to the listeners awareness that they don't have to feel powerless over this. As we mentioned before, there are tools and techniques and tips and things like what we're talking about today that can help you manage that, because we do have choices. We're not choiceless. We have choices, and that's the good news. You hear people talk about the good news. The good news is that you have a choice. You have choices, multiple choices on how to, get better and to feel better in your body and in your mind and your spirit. So let's help me feel better. What are we going to do? We talked about the blue. Can you share with them you shared with me about the blue already. We talked about that, didn't we? Okay, so we have 2 more bottles left. So let's see.
Absolutely, I've got them right here. So the next one that you picked was this beautiful bottle here, which is lilac down at the bottom, which is why you tuned into lilac and that conversation that you were talking about earlier with your grandmother and the lilac and the lavender. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, it's quite amazing, isn't it? So you've got lilac down at the bottom, and then you've got the olive on the top.
Yes.
So this bottle is actually called the Tower. So this bottle is encouraging you to fly, Linus. So you are taking your business to the next level. Yeah, you are literally going through a really, really, really big change, and you're ready to fly in a way that you've not flown before. That's what that basically tells me. The frequency of olive is all about change, and if you can imagine a beautiful olive stem growing out of the ground, you know, when you have a new plant, it's all about new beginnings and new growth. So you're ready to take your level of consciousness and your vibration to a whole new level. So this is a really big period of growth for you, and new beginnings and hope. Olive's all about hope, about that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's all about sort of embracing these new beginnings and being open to change, because typically, and I'm not saying in your case, but I'm saying people generally are very afraid of change because it's the unknown, you know, it's something that they're not used to. So it's about feeling relaxed and being relaxed about and embracing all changes that come your way, because it's all part of your growth, your spiritual growth, your growth as a person, raising your vibration and being of service to even more people.
So would it be helpful, since I don't have that lovely bottle with me, that I put something in my room that's olive, or put something on that's olive?
Yeah, absolutely. So tune into something that's olive. Go out and buy yourself some limes, a lovely bowl of limes, you know, and look at them, you know, light a candle next to those limes and tune into that olive frequency of change, and it will give your body the message that change is great. So at the same time as that message is coming through to you with the olive, down at the bottom section of that bottle, you've got the lilac. So lilac is all about letting go of the past. Lilac is about feeling relaxed. It's about getting to that place of peace where you're not holding on to the corner, you know, to sort of the tower. Imagine you being pushed out of this tower for your own good and encouraged to fly, and kind of holding on and saying, oh, you know, but I might fall. It's a case of just releasing your fingers, letting go of the past and any previous experiences, and being open to new, because the combination of the lilac frequency together with the olive frequency is wonderful. So not only have you got it's safe to change, it's gonna be amazing, hope, new beginnings, you're really tuning into your feminine energy, your sort of light and your power, but at the same time letting go, relaxing. It's easy, it's peaceful. Go, you know, just move through this transition peacefully. Don't resist it, don't fight it. So it's a really, really powerful bottle, a really powerful message, and a beautiful message as well. So
that's it. Yes, it does, because I just recently started publishing my magazine again after taking about a year hiatus. I have a new podcast that I'm producing. I just signed a contract to write a collaboration for a book, and I have to write a chapter before the end of the month, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I just got a new idea for another class I'm going to be doing online. You know, so there's a lot of new things, and I really am pushing myself to do these things, because I am, as my money coach says, I am up leveling. And as I'm talking to you, my eyes have fallen something on my wall. It's Proverbs 31, and it's written in lilac. The whole thing is. And then my favorite person in the world, I have an old poster that was circulated when she came to town, and I've saved it. This was like back in 2010. And the background that they put her on, you know, the superimposed background is all like an olive color. Her name is Susan. I mean, really, and she's been on my wall for like 10 years. I look at her all the time because I just love her. Her name is Susan Taylor, and she used to be the editor of a magazine here in the States called Essence Magazine. Essence is still around. It's a magazine for Black women, and she was the editor-in-chief, and she just has a fantastic story, and I really admire her. She's retired now. She's doing things with mentorship or whatever. But if I ever when I grow up, I want to be like her. So I always look at her picture all the time, and I've noticed it's in that olive lilac color or olive lime green color. And then the virtuous woman is in lilac.
There you go. There you go. So you've been tuned into those color frequencies for a long, long time.
For a long time.
And that's, you see, that's why you go through such growth, and that's why you've got so many projects on the go, and they're all kind of successful and growing, because you're constantly pushing yourself out of the tower.
Yes.
You're constantly connecting with those colors, and you're constantly forging ahead. And I love the way you said, you kind of said, oh yes, I'm pushing myself, I'm moving.
Yes,
I'm moving
I am. I'm pushing it. If, in fact, my friends make fun of me, but because they think, Glennis, where's this energy coming from? I mean, God, you're 61. When are you going to slow down? But it's just, it's because I am 61 and I feel the need to get these things out. I just feel the need. I'm not going to live for this. Well, I may live for another 60 years. Who knows? But, as far as I know, that's not in my lineage. So therefore, I'm being realistic. And so therefore, I feel like, I need to get these things out. And the interesting thing I've noticed is that when you are on the right track, the universe conspires to help you. I'll tell you this one story, and we'll go back to the color. When my husband and I were catching a plane, we left our house historically, as always, way too late, and I think we had like maybe 40 minutes to get to the airport and to go through security and all that. And it was an international flight, okay? So when we left, it takes us 25 minutes to get to the airport, at least. And that's like, never mind parking and all the other stuff after you get there. So we're like, we're going through the motions. We know we're going to miss this plane, okay? It's like, we're going to miss this plane, but let's do it anyway. Let's go for it. So we parked. Of course, we didn't get any lights. There was no traffic. We parked the car. I mean, we went through security just like that and everything else. Now, by this time, I'm looking at my watch and I'm thinking, okay, we've been doing this now for 40 minutes. But when I looked at the watch, when we got to the time to check in, we still had 15 minutes to spare. How could that possibly have been? I mean, it was amazing. People were still lying around that hadn't even gone on the plane yet. And we're like, what? How could that be? But because we were meant to be on that flight, the universe conspired, slowed down time. So that's how you know when you're on the right track. When things that shouldn't be happening, you think in your own limited human mind, okay, all of a sudden start happening. And all I know is that there's no such thing as coincidence.
Yes. And you see, what you've just described is a high vibrational day. So that happens to me a lot. I'm always in that. Bet. And that's because if I'm in a low vibration, I'm shifting it out right away. So you're describing a high vibrational day where you're literally happy and relaxed, and you know everything's going to be okay, and you're absolutely right. The universe conspires to bring everything your way, and it's fantastic, absolutely wonderful. What a wonderful description.
Okay, so we got 2 bottles. So now we're done. And I'm writing this down. That's why I'm writing it down. I'm not being rude. I'm writing it down. Oh, it's why she's not paying any attention. I'm writing it down. Okay.
Lovely. Okay, so let's come on to the third bottle then. So the third bottle here is beautiful orange frequency and the gold in the bottom. Now, this is really quite interesting because this bottle helps to release putting in a lot of effort and not getting the reciprocal response back. So in other words, this is you saying, okay, I'm going to put the effort in, and this time the harvest is coming my way. This is about payback. This is about positive payback. This is about releasing all that effort and just not getting the results that you wanted at the level that you wanted. So things are evening out. This is about you being in a much higher vibration, being in your authentic light, in your authentic power, and really having that passion for life back again, that bliss, really feeling the juiciness of life, which is what the orange is all about. Because you said you've got orange in the background, your sofa, and this is you connecting with that passion and connecting with that bliss, and being in your authentic light and your authentic power. So I'm not talking about ego power here by any means. This is authentic power. This is about you knowing who you are. This is about being aware, being self-aware. This is about wanting to create the day how you want to create the day, and using all the tools and resources around you to make sure that you have this amazing day, and so on and so forth. So that model's called the harvest. So when you put all three messages together, it's safe to speak your truth. You're moving into this new level. You're going to fly. You are flying. In fact, you've already started, and this is where it is positive feedback. You're going to get this positive feedback instead of putting in a lot of effort, a lot of hours, and not getting that reciprocal response. The reciprocal response is coming to you now because you are in your authentic power, because you are now really at this place of relaxation, shining your light, and just wanting more out of life, so wanting a higher vibration. That's your reading. So does that resonate?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As I think I might have mentioned earlier, I've just rolled out two new product lines, and new magazine. Another magazine is on the way, coming up for October, and and I'm already thinking about the one that's coming out in for November, December. Already lining up the people. So yeah, it's just coming. The only thing that I need to do is focusing on releasing, letting go of any trepidation.
Yes,
and declaring it as so, and making sure that I am wearing, I don't care if it doesn't match or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to be wearing the lilac, the orange, the olive, the gold. Actually, this has an olive gold color print on here. This, on my duvet, and then I have the orange pillows here. So all I got to do is come up with a lilac. I'm going to come up with some kind of concoction so that I could, look at it. I don't know, like for instance, with colored pebbles in a bowl, would that help? Or
oh, absolutely, absolutely. The only thing I would mention to you, that now that your body's got the message with those colours, you've almost moved on. So if you were to look at the colour bottles again, your frequency, I would imagine, would have changed because your body's got the message about those colours.
That's right. You said that it changes.
Yeah, that's right. So now that your body's got the message, the body has got the message from this bottle, for example. This bottle is saying, actually, I don't need to work so hard to get the results. I can actually chill out a little bit and still get the results and still get this amazing abundance come my way. That's what that bottle's given you. This bottle is saying, actually, I am flying, and yes, it's safe to let go of the past. I can fly without falling. I don't need to worry about falling out of the tower. And here, it's safe for me to speak my truth, to express myself, to release any stress. I don't need to go into all this hard work anymore. It's easy now. And that's the key, because when you're recognizing that it's easy flow, you get into universal flow. And when you're in universal flow, you are in that space, that same space that you were when you were going to the airport that day. That's universal flow.
Yes.
Not hard. You don't need to work hard. You just put in the effort that you feel that you would like to, that keeps that vibration nice and high. The minute you start to say, I've got to work hard, feel your vibration lower. You can feel, I've got to, and working hard, it drops your vibration down, doesn't it?
Right, yes it does.
Yeah. So now it's a case of, I wonder how I can create my day. I wonder what I can do to make me feel really good today. What would I like to do? And it's really looking at life from that perspective and being aware of any, oh no, but I've got to work hard. Any of those old beliefs.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, I do. Yesterday, I was just not feeling it. And I said, you know what? I've put so much out there in the universe. I'm just going to veg in front of this television and binge watch something else. I just don't feel like doing any more work right now. And, and I'm not a lazy person at all. In fact, several times during that, I was like, God, I should be doing something. And then something else said, no, you don't. You know, and see, look what manifested my interview with you today.
Thank you. And that's exactly what you did yesterday. Perfect. Because what you were doing was just giving yourself a rest, and that's self-nurturing. And if you're self-nurturing, of course your vibration's increasing, isn't it? Because
Yes.
you're more self-accepting, you're not feeling guilty, you're releasing the guilt, and you're just saying, actually, you know, I have worked hard. It's that recognition of yourself, and actually saying, I can just take it easy, and look at how easy things are coming your way. You know,
That's true. I mean, look, I'm talking to you. And just had, you're right, and just had this wonderful new reading with color and all that. For people who want to find out more about you and what you do and your services and how to order these wonderful bottles, what do they do? Where do they go?
Okay, so you can come along, visit my website. My website is www.priscillaelliott.co.uk. And in terms of Priscilla Elliott, I'm sure that you'll put a little, you know, you'll put my website details on the screen, so that people are spelling it with the 2 T's at the end, etc. So yeah, just come along, visit me on my website. That I do offer free colour readings. I love to do them over the phone because they're more interactive, but that's not always possible, so I do them over email. I am in back-to-back sessions. I'm chock-a-block with sessions every day, whether it's face-to-face or on the phone. So please do bear with me if I don't respond to you immediately.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. So
is.
for all of you who want to find out more about this wonderful practice and color therapy and EFT and just a law of attraction, all those good things, please check out Priscilla Elliott's website. It will also give you information on how to contact her. There it is on our screen. And also it's on the show page for those of you who are actually listening to this on the show page. Feel free to go ahead and contact her for this wonderful service. As you can see, wow. In fact, I think my vibration has raised since we first started the interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, she would know. See, okay.
Yeah, and it's about, you know, just feeling great, isn't it? And the interaction then is so easy and everything's just fun.
Everything just kind of flows.
It really does. It's just a wonderful place to be in. And of course our vibration and what we're sending out to the universe is going to affect what we get back from the universe.
That's
so
true.
Something for your listeners to bear in mind, that it's really important to get yourself into that lovely high vibrational place. And if you don't think that you know how to do it, contact me or any other practitioner. There are loads of practitioners that deal with EFT or colour, etc. But my speciality is the subconscious. It's reading the subconscious, communicating with the subconscious. That's my area of speciality.
Wonderful.
And also the law of attraction and how I help people to interpret what's going on inside and what vibrations would be useful to shift out, and identifying those limiting beliefs and just blasting them out of the system, you know, so that they get a better response. So that's and
fantastic.
it's, like I said, a real pleasure, a real honor for me to be on joining people on their journeys for as long as they need me for, really. So
that's wonderful. and thank you, Priscilla. Thank you for joining us on our journey, the wellness journey. It's been wonderful to have you here today, and thank you for all the light and love and positive energy you put out there in the universe. It really makes a difference. You can look at you and tell.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Thank you. And likewise, because you see, I'm a reflection of you.
Oh, good. We're reflecting each other.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to thank you so much for this opportunity, Linus. It's been a real pleasure. Lovely communicating with you. And likewise, you have absolute light, and you go, girl. You know, you fly.
Okay, thank you. I'm getting ready to fly right now. And thank you to all of you who've been listening to our podcast. I'm so glad that you decided to join us. And as I always say, along your journey to wellness, you're going to find tips, tools, and techniques that are going to pull everything together so that you can be well in your mind, your body, and your spirit. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you again next time. Join me next week when I'll have a new guest discussing a new topic that will aid you at every point on your wellness journey. For more information on how to strengthen your mind, body, and spirit, click the link on your screen to check out my e-magazine, Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond. Till next time, keep living your life like it's golden.
For more wonderful shows like this, please go to selfdiscoveryradio.com, podcasts, and see our lineup. And if you wish to support us, we have a funded button. Please stay tuned for our next show.